Hey there guys, so I'm trying something a little bit different today. I'm making a shorter, less edited video because I love making these bigger in-depth ones, but people have said they'd like to see more frequency from me, more regular uploads. And doing those longer videos, the last one I think was 16 minutes, whilst I love doing it, it takes a long time. I can't do more than one a week. So I thought what I'd do is one big in-depth one a week and then one shorter one where I discuss a topic in a little less depth, maybe some quick tip or a quick point of discussion, maybe a review, maybe something else like that, maybe some news, and that way I can upload more frequently while still maintaining the quality of those bigger ones. So this is my first quick discussion. It's going to be on functional fixedness, and let me know what you think in the comments down below. Have you ever wondered why it's so satisfying when you watch Jackie Chan pick up an umbrella or a ladder and use that to beat up on guys? That's because we're witnessing inventiveness and resourcefulness, and I always say there's no such thing as a lack of resources, only a lack of resourcefulness. I didn't make up that quote, by the way, I just say it a lot. So the human brain is built for efficiency, and that means that it will always take the easiest route to find the answer. This is where stereotypes come from, it's where overgeneralization comes from, because a lot of the time, stereotypes and overgeneralizations are accurate. For instance, if you see a lion, chances are it's not a friendly lion, it's going to eat you. And the most efficient way of your brain acting in that situation is to assume that that lion is just like all the rest of the lions and to run away. But as we know, this can sometimes lead to errors in judgment. And a particular example of that is called functional fixedness. This is a type of cognitive bias. So functional fixedness means that you can only think of a tool in the context of what that tool or item was originally designed for. It has a fixed functionality as far as you're concerned. So if you have a hammer, you're thinking this is used for driving nails into wood. It's not useful for anything else. And that, of course, means you might miss out on other possible uses for it. And this is perfectly demonstrated by a famous problem called the candle problem. In the candle problem, participants are presented with a hammer, a box of tacks, and that's it. And they're told they need to attach the candle, so they're also presented with a candle, and they're told they need to attach the candle to the wall using the hammer and the box of tacks. And it needs to be able to burn and stay attached and light up the room. So what they'll normally do is take the hammer, take the tacks, and try and drive the tacks through the candle into the wall so that the candle stays attached to the wall and lights up the room. Of course, this just breaks the candle, it won't work. And what they actually need to do is to empty the box of tacks, use the box as a kind of shelf, nail that to the wall, and then stand the candle in the box. So in order to come to that conclusion, they've thought of that box of tacks as something other than just a box of tacks. They've thought of it as a shelf. They've overcome their functional fixedness. And this is the same kind of thing we see when Jackie Chan sees an umbrella, and doesn't just see an umbrella, he sees something that he can fight with. It's also the same kind of thing that we use in puzzle solving when we play computer games. So in a computer game, say Portal, you're presented with a tool, say the portal gun, and shown a way you can use it. And then the puzzle comes from coming up with a new problem and then having to use that tool you've been taught in a new and inventive way. So you're using the same tool, but you're overcoming your functional fixedness to come up with a new way to use it. The real aha moment is when you have that shift in perception that allows you to view everything that's happened in a new light. So how can we make ourselves overcome this functional fixedness, have more shifts in perception, be more resourceful? Well, according to studies that use the candle problem, it seems that the more stressed we are and the more motivated we are, the less successful we are at overcoming these kinds of problems. And that's because when we're very stressed and very full of adrenaline and dopamine, we tend to be focused on just one answer, and we just try and repeat that one solution until we get what we want. On the other hand, when you relax more, you can explore the myriad different ideas and different options, explore your connectome, and come up with something entirely new. Of course, in the case of Jackie Chan, he's doing all this in a split instant in order to grab something in his environment and use it in a creative way. And this demonstrates the importance of being able to stay calm and cool in a crisis. And you can do this not only through things like CBT, but also meditation, and by improving your cardiovascular fitness in order to lower your heart rate so that your whole physiology is calmer even when you're exerting yourself. And so actually, instead of being stressed when you're trying to figure out the solution to a problem, what you'd actually do is just walk away and then come back to it. And that's probably why I'll often come up with my solutions to programming problems when I get up to go to the loo. And there's another reason for this, and that's because when you change your environment, that creates a perception shift because all these new neurons are firing and it allows you to view what you're doing in a different way. So the doorway effect describes why we often forget what we went into a room for, and that's because you've gone to a new environment, new neurons are firing, and therefore you forget the reason you went in there. Your perspective has changed. But this can be used in a positive way when you're stuck on a problem. If you just take a break and expose yourself to a new environment, then you can change your way of thinking just enough to get a new perspective on the issue. There are also a bunch of different protocols you can use to give yourself a new perspective. Often a good option is just to ask yourself different questions which will reframe the problem. So you might ask yourself, how would my friend blah solve this problem? Or how would I solve this problem ideally if I had all the tools I needed? And this helps you to think about it in a new and different way. One of the best options is simply to run through all of the raw materials at your disposal. So instead of thinking I've got a hammer, I've got tacks, I've got a candle, you now think I've got string in the wick, I've got wax, I've got wood, I've got metal. And then you think of all the different tools you've got, hammer, box, etc., and all the different ways you can use them, bashing things, prying nails out of walls, using it for leverage, etc. And this way you see more options and you can come up with more solutions. Changing your perspective on things is something that the brain loves to do because it gives us more options, and of course using tools is one of the things that helped our evolution to a massive extent. The first time we picked up a stick and we used it to fish for ants in a tree, that was an example of us overcoming functional fixedness and developing useful tools. One of the best ways to change your perception, to get a shift in perspective, is to seek moments of awe. This is called awe cultivation. So when you're standing on top of a mountain, or when you're faced with some exotic creature, or when you've had something challenge your whole belief system, like an episode of Planet Earth 2, then you sometimes feel incredibly small and you get this incredible sense of wonder and awe. Neurochemically, this is the result of a release of all kinds of hormones and neurotransmitters, and it might be because your brain is having to completely rethink its stance on so many different things, rebuild, reassess lots of different networks. Because you're having to rethink your position in the world, it's changed the way you've seen all kinds of different memories and ideas that you've had before. It's such a grand data dump that it changes much of your connectome, and this mass restructuring triggers a kind of amazing feeling of awe and wonder and of being small and of limitless possibilities. And if you seek these moments and increase your exposure to the novel and the new and the exciting, then you could be naturally far more inventive and creative. So thanks a ton for watching, guys. Hope you found this video useful and interesting. If you did, please leave a like, comment down below, let me know what you think. And of course, I've got many more like this on the way on brain training, fitness, bodybuilding, martial arts, you name it, productivity. So if that sounds good, then please subscribe, hit the bell button for notifications, and I'll see you next time. Thanks a ton for watching. Bye for now.